Hey, this is Chris, and in this video I want to talk about Memorial Day a little bit. Specifically, I just want to recognize what a lot of families lose when a loved one dies in combat. And that's what Memorial Day is all about, is remembering as a society those who paid with their lives to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, which is what soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen commit to do when they join the military, or sometimes are drafted and they don't even have any choice, but they are there to go and protect the United States of America, this constitutional democratic republic. And then they're not there to serve a king or a tyrant or a dictator. Like throughout history, people would go and be served and conscripted into the military and forced to fight under threats of pain or death to support the aims of somebody who had their own designs for going into combat, their own goals, their own aims, and not necessarily the aims of the good of the people that they ruled over. In the United States, it's different. We make oath as men and women in the military that we are there to not support or protect a king or a tyrant or a dictator, but we are there to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and to ensure that we have people that are able to live in a democratic republic that is created by and within the boundaries of this constitutional document that those several hundred years ago framed for us as a people. But many of you have lost loved ones in that aim, and sometimes it's hard to see the value and a loss of life of somebody who you loved and you cared about. And it's sometimes hard to recognize how any good can come out of the loss of a life of a loved one. And when we do have Memorial Day, it's a way as a society to say we recognize that people have given a very costly sacrifice for us as a people, and recognize that publicly. But I don't think it fully takes away the pain and the loss that often you might feel having lost somebody you loved and cared about very much when they go somewhere. And lately, for many decades now, it's been overseas. We haven't had to defend our homeland since the 19th century, and with the battle on American soil, in the Civil War, I'm thinking particularly. But there is a recognition, I think we all have, especially if you have lost somebody, that sacrifice was meaningful for our society, and it is not unnoticed. But the pain, again, as I was trying to say earlier, it's hard to take away the pain and the loss. And whenever Memorial Day rolls around, I think about my great uncles. A number of them gave their lives in World War II. They gave their lives before they were married and before they had children. We don't know what their lives would have been had they not died overseas in combat during the Second World War. And to me, it's just a sense of loss for my family and my dad's family line and my mom's family line, and just recognize that there was a pain, there was difficulty in that loss, and there was often discussions about losing these people that were so valued and so cared about. And I know with Iraq and Afghanistan happening more recent, there is something more than just remembering the loss of an ancestor and wondering what their lives would have been, to think about that, but to think about the very real thing that I have a loved one who went to Iraq, who went to Afghanistan, and they did not come back home. They lost their lives on that battlefield, and that was a son or a daughter, that was a spouse, that was a brother or a sister, that was a child. And it's very hard to walk through those losses. And so as we go through Memorial Day, and as a society, we recognize and honor those who have given their lives, I just want to recognize that it also is that moment where it just brings back to memory that loss, and can really lead to feeling some of that pain again, and that pain of that loss, and missing that person. And I just want to share, I guess, personally, that it really, my heart just goes out to you, because I know that that's not an easy thing to process every year. Memorial Day, on the day that they died, on their birthday, and having to have the recounting of this loss, because these kinds of losses don't just go away. I think having experienced loss, not from combat, but other things. I had a brother who died. I've lost my dad and my father-in-law. That you have that loss and that sense of loss that's always with you. Yet the intensity of that loss does diminish over time, but it doesn't always go away. So I guess I just wanted to say that and acknowledge that. I know I can't fix anything. I know I can't make anybody's feelings better, but just to say to those of you who have lost someone that you love and care about, that went out to protect, defend the Constitution of the United States, not a king, not a tyrant, but the system that enables us to live in freedom here in the United States. Just to say thank you for what you've done, and just to express appreciation in that work of grieving and losing, because it's not just a soldier or sailor, Marine, or airman, airwoman that have lost something when they give up their lives. The family loses something of themselves, and it does take a lot of hard work to process that grief and get through it. So thank you for doing that hard work of grieving and missing that loved one. And I do hope you will always keep their memory alive. And the stories you tell others, just keep them alive. Remind people who they were and what their lives were, so that we can all appreciate what it takes to protect our country, and what is required often of those who serve in the military. So thank you very much. I appreciate all of you watch this channel. May God bless you.